anybody. There are other options. So what you need when it comes back to the plant stem cell story is you need real growth factors, because what your skin is missing may not even be stem cells. You have tons of dormant stem cells in your skin. You need growth factors, and stem cells don't become growth factors. Even doctors today that are doing stem cell injections in the face, they're like, not sure I'm actually getting a fibroblast out of it, probably not, but what I'm getting is volume from a fat cell, because stem cells are like a fat cell. So that's fine. I'm okay with injecting stem cells. I'm not sure how big a market that will be over time, but fibroblasts, if I can inject a bunch of fibroblasts into your face, that is the way to go, because you do have a shortage of fibroblasts. They are your collagen and growth factor manufacturers. Yeah? Hold on. I have 26 minutes. Okay. And then we talked about quantity, quality, where I said, okay, I need someone who's making the best growth factor serum out there. And there was one lab I found where the growth factors that they make are encapsulated with something called an exosome, and that exosome stabilizes the growth factor, which is the biggest problem growth factors have, is they fall apart in the bottle. Peptides fall apart in bottles, remember that? And then number 2, penetration. Exosomes enhance penetration because they have all the tentacles that identify to the skin what they are, and the skin opens up gateways for them. So those solved a couple of my problems, and that's why I'm hooked on that technology. But not everybody needs that. Okay, the most important clients that need that are the ones that have the least amount of fat in their face. And that's where I also get worried, is some of these lasers melt fat. And if you start melting your fat and damaging your fat, like CO2 is a classic fat melting laser, you will have way fewer growth factors in your skin. So the clients that are really thin, they have fewer growth factors, they respond really well to growth factor serums. The clients that have really, that are chubby or have a very thick skin, they typically don't need the growth factor part in the formula. And it's usually after age 30 that you need to start thinking about that stuff anyway, but for some people it's different. And then penetration, as I mentioned, liposome penetration. We get 600% better penetration. The liposome we use is what's called phosphatidylcholine, which is what your cell walls are made of. It's research proven. It's what the pharmaceutical companies use for their topical products in general. I just trusted that they did all the right science. Yes, ma'am, you had a question?
How the fibroblast?
How do you get more? Well, how does it work? So you have, I don't even know if they've ever quantified the number of fibroblasts. In fact, there's studies that show that if you have a wound, your body will come up and make a brand new fibroblast just to handle that wound, and then it'll disappear again. But you have a certain number of fibroblasts operating in your skin. You have to have blood supply to them or they don't go there. So circulation is a key to increasing fibroblasts. That's one of the things we know. And they work by just making collagen. They also make growth factors related to wound healing. But they make collagen, and that's their primary role. All right, so this is that product I was telling you about that increases ATP. It just does it. That's how it burns fat. It's no stimulants in it. You will feel it. It does have niacin as part of the formula, so people get the flush sometimes. But I can't tell you, it's a game changer, especially if you have adrenal exhaustion, if your cells need, it really changes, it stops making your adrenals work hard.
Yeah, the amount of niacin in the formulation?
It's got, I believe, 30 to 35 grams of niacin per capsule, and the average dose is 2 capsules twice a day.
Okay.
Yeah, some people are taking like 1,000 milligrams of niacin, and none of that is needed. So again, I'm just reminding you that every time you burn someone, especially an acne client, you can see that wound on the end of her nose. That is necrotic tissue. The skin has to work really hard to try to fill that in, and there is no such thing as a dermal wound that recovers 100%. There's no research study that's ever found that it was possible. So the idea that you wound the skin and you get 110% recovery, it's all made up. Totally fabricated stuff. When you burn the skin that harshly, you're going to end up doing it. And don't forget that exfoliation is a wound. Every time you take a layer off of your surface of your skin has to replace it. That takes time, that takes energy. It will stop doing something else in order to work on that. So you've got it. Your skin only has so many choices every day. You let it decide when it should exfoliate. You just make it healthy enough to exfoliate as fast as possible. There's a really interesting way to track this. So if you think about circulation as the way it determines your skin's metabolism, just like, let's say that everybody in this room has the same body type and size, and you all need 1,500 calories a day in order to maintain all your cellular activity just right, okay? So let's say you start eating 1,200 calories a day. What happens to those cells? Every one of those cells slows down about, well, 1,200 calories is 20%. 20% slowdown, okay? Same thing's happening in your skin. If you're 50 years old, you have 25% less circulation in your skin will slow down by 25%. So your turnover rate slows down by 25%. Let's do the math. 30 days normally, 25% slower, 37.5 days. Kind of what we learned in school, isn't it? We learned, oh yeah, 40-year-old maybe goes at 40 days. That's almost right, okay? So we can connect the amount of circulation to the amount of turnover. So when you say, oh, I'm going to peel the skin because it'll go faster, but it's only going faster to fix that wound, it's ignoring other things that it was supposed to be doing. If I just increase the nutrition of the skin, now it's going to go back to 30 days without actually hurting the surface. And that's all we're looking to do. We don't ever try to exfoliate our children because we know they're at 30 days. Right? We're good. So we can think of the skin always working at the best of its capacity. It's only slowing down not because it's broken, but because it's conserving. It's conserving. It's lost some of its food supply. So again, wounding the skin will do that. So some of the technologies we have, and I'm going to speed up here, is unique. And that's another important thing. You know, when I started looking for the truth, unique things came to us. Trioxylane, no one else in the industry uses trioxylane. We have a patent on it. AC11 is a DNA repair tool. Zinc fingers, no one else in the industry is using zinc fingers. We have the waters, of course, crazy as it is. Of course, no one else in the world is doing that. So these are very unique strategies which gives us some important tools. So trioxylane is that oxygen that when you take it internally, it starts fixing stuff inside your body. When you put it on the surface, it starts fixing surface stuff. So we have its rescue for the surface, restore for the inside. When I put trioxylane inside your body, 75% of the time, we're going to make your melasma go away. As long as you're not taking whatever it was that caused your liver damage. When I use AC11 and zinc fingers, we fix, like Lori Creed, I hate to call her out, I don't know if she wanted to, but she had a broken capillary. She's like, oh my God, 4 days in on Catalyst on a new broken capillary that she had, and it was almost gone. Things happen fast when you give your body the tools, and Catalyst is what has zinc fingers and AC11. Liposomal retinaldehyde, I'm still fighting with the patent office, but it's patent pending. On that particular one. Asiaticoside increases fibroblasts. Niacinamide increases circulation. So all these things, if you put a liposome around them, which is where a lot of my patents originate, will make them penetrate and reach the dermis, which is where this stuff needs to happen. Facial infusion is a peel system using retinaldehyde. And we just keep making it better. So we're actually in the next week or two coming out with our 2.5% version. And we are 2.5% retinaldehyde. And again, your skin will take all of it can and make as much collagen as it will for 30 days. It takes about 30 days to make collagen after one of these treatments. But the rest it'll store. Good, for later use. Let the skin control that. Yeah?
Why do you still call it a peel?
Because some people will peel. And more people are going to peel. If you do the Regenerate and you crack those holes in the stratum corneum, which stay open for about 30 minutes, oh my God, the whole thing sucks in there and it's the best penetration. And now we're seeing 50-60% of people get a mild peel. And it's a stimulation peel. It's not from wounding the skin. It's from over. So I'm okay with that. So sometimes we're like, well, isn't it a wound when you crack the stratum corneum? Yeah, by definition, it is a small wound. But the net gain of the ingredient penetration makes it a net gain. Same thing with facial infusion. Some people will still exfoliate a little bit, but the net gain is dermal thickening. And you'll see that, and every month they'll keep getting thicker and thicker and thicker. And then harmonized waters, which really I don't know, like, at some point, the world is going to be listening, and I think after the clinical trial. So sometime in September, we'll have this clinical trial result on our acne. This is a skin tag falling off. Again, a skin tag is a viral infection. It's not the skin malfunctioning. It's the skin trying to encapsulate a virus, or the virus is in the DNA and it's causing an abnormal function in the skin. So you fix the DNA problem and the skin tag falls off. This woman's mole fell off. Sometimes moles, I would say most moles aren't meant to fall off. So I wouldn't do that if you got one of those. And by the way, moles can often reflect a fungal infection. So if you or you know someone who has a bunch of moles on their body, you might have a yeast problem. You need to be treating that yeast problem. There's a thing called seborrheic keratosis, the big warty thing. You see a lot of people over 60 have them, like growths on their forehead, right? You see them around their eyes or sometimes on their cheeks. And some doctors cut them out, some freeze them, they do different things. We make them fall off. You just treat it with trioxylene. Trioxylene, it's a fungal infection of the skin. So you give the skin the tools to fight the fungal infection, and it literally makes it disappear. It's the coolest thing. So I'm telling you, you have tools as an esthetician. You don't have to diagnose it, but you don't have to send them off to a dermatologist either. Treat them. Call me if you have a question about it. TAMA is our alternative to Botox. This is about a $5,000 system. So in the microcurrent world, it's quite affordable, but it is unique. It is really a powerful tool. They use a unique mechanism. If you're using a microcurrent today, and I won't mention the names of some of them, but let's say you use one and you have to use it 20 minutes a day, and you use it every day, and if you don't use it every day, the results go away, you're just causing swelling. That's a epidermal swelling microcurrent. It's actually shocking the epidermis, not getting into the... So if you use a wave that's not designed to go into the skin, it'll just circulate around the epidermis and create swelling. That's why it works. So the ones you're using every day are working by hurting your skin. Not a good idea. All right? This one is unique to me because I used it for about 12 sessions, and then I did one every month, maybe for a couple more sessions, and then all of a sudden I got busy and I didn't do it for several months. I think it's been 4 months now. It's holding. It's holding because you re-energize the muscle and they can keep it. So I talk about permanent, and I'm not going to say that leaves you with a permanent muscle strengthening, but it is lasting muscle strengthening because it's not hurting the muscle in the process. It's a different kind of microcurrent. It also has a wound healing mode on it that promotes wound healing. It's called the white mode. I love these guys. Tina and Ali built this system. I think it's fantastic. And again, the idea is let's rebuild the muscle density. Let's not poison it and flatten it because that's the opposite of getting younger. This is Regenerate. Regenerate is little tiny nano pyramids at the end of a little vibrating, punching plate, if you will, and it just punches little tiny holes in your stratum corneum. You do it as little as possible. You don't push hard. If you have someone who's really thin skinned, you're very light with your passes, and because all you want to do is crack that stratum corneum temporarily, and that product will rush in. You can't even believe how effective it is. We are selling them like crazy, and it's $1,000. I have 900 at the show, and it is, by just hitting the stratum corneum, which is just that last little bit of skin on its way out, you're not creating a whole wound response. You're not exhausting the skin. Remember, those kind of holes, especially when they're made from a wedge of a pyramid, they shut. So it'll shut quickly, like needling. Now, microneedling, also those wounds at the top surface, they shut. But the needle